Hey everyone, welcome back to Hanging Out for a Living. Today we have a special treat for all the educators, parents, and anyone looking to enhance their leadership skills. Joining us is dynamic Miss Cynthia. She's a powerhouse in the learning and development industry. With a quarter of a century's experience, Miss Cynthia isn't just your everyday educator. She's a trainer, a coach, a consultant, and most importantly, a guiding light for many moms and teens out there. From her Warrior Mom Boot Camp to her Lead Me Teen Leadership Challenge, she has made a significant impact on many lives. And oh, let's not forget her incredible talent as a UK certified international youth etiquette consultant. Are you excited yet? I know I am. So let's dive in. Miss Cynthia, welcome.
Thank you so much. What a nice introduction. Thank you. I am so excited to be here. I can't wait to talk with you.
Wonderful. So let's dive right in. Um, with a diverse background in education and development that you have, what initially sparked your passion for training and coaching, and how has that passion evolved over the years?
That's a good question. That's a loaded question too. I'm excited about the question because it forces me to go back to the one thing that sparked the passion. And so, actually, it happened when I was young. As a young teenager, excited to learn and excited to actually have a first job. I was a counselor in training at a sports
Mm,
camp. So, as a camp counselor, I had to be with the campers, had fun teaching them this and that. But this particular summer, I had a young girl who wasn't even in my group who watched me swim and dive because I was a competitive swimmer at the time, not a competitive diver, but I knew this one really difficult dive. She saw me do it, came up to me and said, "Cynthia, can you teach me how to do that?" And I thought, "Oh, no, that's kind of difficult." All these things went through my mind. No, I
sure.
probably shouldn't. And at the time, I said, "No, I don't think I should right now because it's dangerous and I'm not sure how to do it." But she never gave up. She came and asked me the next day. And had it not been for her persistence, I might not be where I am now. And so, because she kept asking me, I said, "Okay, we'll do it." I said, "But you've got to do everything I say, and you have to do it the way that I say to do it." And so I don't think I asked permission from the older, more, the grown up lifeguards. And I did it. And what I really did was I had to break down the dive into smaller steps, coach her
Mhm.
through it. And at the time, I didn't know is what I was doing. So I had to do all of that. And Teresa, with it, I don't even remember how long it took, but she learned it. And the satisfaction I got in watching her go up there and do it without me saying a word, when she came
Mm.
out, it was all on her face, just pure joy. It's like this was the best present she could have ever asked for. And boom, I was in. I was in. So that one spark, that sparked my passion. At the time, I didn't know these terms, to teach or train and to coach. And so that was it. That's what started me on this awesome road of, touching the lives of others. But the other part of it too, Teresa, is, and to this day, I say this to my students, both children and adults, I have never gotten in front of a group or an individual who didn't teach me something about myself. So in all of that, after the excitement of her achievement was over, I actually sat and said, "You actually taught somebody to do something and they did it." And so that's what I got out of it as well.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I love that
Mhm.
story. Thank you for sharing it. I know you have
Yes.
several, and I'm grateful you chose that one. So, your Warrior Mom Boot Camp stands out as a really unique offering. Can you tell us more about it and share a success story or two of moms who've gone through the boot camp and made a difference in their teens' lives?
Sure, I love the Building a Warrior Mom Boot Camp. I actually created that as a way to help moms teach and prepare their teens for leadership. And so I actually I did it a little bit backwards. I did the leadership development first for the teens and realized, they're not the buyers, and you need to have the moms know what you're doing. So that's really what caused me to create the boot camp. So in the boot camp, I'm teaching and coaching moms, teaching them theories, giving them frameworks on what to do, what to follow, how to identify content, how to find out if your teen is ready for this trip. I teach
Yes.
them all of that, coach them through it so they could begin preparing their teen for leadership. Two moms that really shared some useful feedback for me. One enjoyed the boot camp because she felt like she was able to be in the community where she could share what she needed to share without being judged, because being a mom is not easy and it is a tough road to hoe. It really, really is.
Yes.
And I think that as a whole, society tends to judge parents a lot. Everything gets dumped on them. Some things make sense, some things not. And parents can't do it alone. So the biggest thing she shared with me was I felt like I was safe in this community, able to share what I needed to do, get ideas from others, and just to find ways to do things for my teen so I can help her to grow. Now, this was a seasoned mom saying this, so that was really good to know. And the one thing that was helpful for her was to help her continue to find ways to keep her daughter's confidence high and to continue to build it. And so she found the community and the information in the boot camp helpful to her and helping her to continue to do that. And I continue to work with her teen as well, who actually aged out, who graduated from high school, is now on her way to college, but the training never ends. So that's one
Right.
parent who enjoyed the boot camp. And I had another one. It's interesting, Teresa, moms are really saying the same things. They love the content, and some of the content is learning styles. How are
Mhm.
you able to assess when your teen is ready to learn? And there's a whole lot of other information I prepare for them. They love the content that's helping them prepare their teens. They feel more confident in their own skills, but also
Sure.
it goes back to that community. I can go and share what happened this day, get some feedback, get some support, and know that I've got a lifeline because I'm available to them live. It's not just
Yeah.
all you read this, do it on your own. I'm there live, and they're able to get what they need to go to the next step. So those are the biggest things. With the second mom, she got the content. She enjoyed having a plan. I teach them, here are the steps you follow to start to create the plan for your teen. And she decided to go back to basics and thought, you know what, this is helping me because I've been able to come up with a plan. I want to go back to social graces. I want to go over this and create this foundation with my teens because I know it's going to help them get recognized for the right reasons. So those are two examples that I come up with, but the support is a huge aspect of that.
Great examples and a great segue into our next question. And so we talk about the concept of leadership among teens, and it's a powerful one. In your view, what are the most essential leadership principles that every teen should adopt? And how does the Lead Me Teen Leadership Challenge aim to instill these?
Ooh, that's a big question too. That's a big one too. Here are the three principles I operate from, and I actually use them to create the content for the teen challenge. And they're simple, and everything in life is simple. Here are the three principles for teens that I think are essential. Number one, they have to believe in themselves. They have to believe they can.
Yes.
Same for adults. You'll find this is the same for us too. But
Yeah.
believe in yourself, serve others, and do the right thing, do it right the first time. So those are the three principles that I operate from. And within it, there's a whole bunch. So what I did was I took those three principles, and each week of the challenge is 15 days and it runs just like a challenge. You learn this, do a little homework. We're on the other piece of the content. The other day, it's quickly moving, but they have access
Sure.
to it. So the first week, this is how I embedded it into the challenge. When we're talking about believing in yourself, week one are really what I could call foundational principles on developing self. So number one, you have to believe you can do it. I cover that. I cover first impressions, being an effective communicator, and being effective in communication. Those are two separate things, and also being of service to others. So for me, those are foundational principles because before I can lead anyone, I've got to prepare myself. and I have to make
Right.
sure that I'm okay. So that is week number 1, the content that I cover. I also cover in the next week the serve yourself or serve others. I actually spend that week on social etiquette and social graces. So I take etiquette and manners and use that as a tool for you to be a successful servant to others. So we talk about social graces dining, we talk about table manners and actually expressing gratitude. So that's another thing we discussed. And in week 3, that was my third principle, which is do what is right, like telling the truth, doing things ethically. We talk about making good decisions, using our time wisely, problem solving. And then we talk
Sure.
about the more difficult things. How do we resolve conflict? How do we deal with
Ah,
difficult people? Because if we don't do that well, we're not going to be able to lead anyone and we're going to not leave a great impression. And then, of course, how do we receive feedback? In order to grow, you have to be coached. You have to be able to receive feedback. And how do you use that to develop yourself? So that pretty much is it. I take the principles and I line it up with content that are going to help develop them in those specific areas.
right. Excellent. Oh my gosh. So important. What a skill set that not only teens, but us as adults, so important to have.
And Teresa, if I could tell this one thing to give your
Sure.
viewers an idea of how awesome teens are, I ran this pilot. And in the pilot, I still didn't have a name for it yet, didn't know what the logo
Uh-huh.
was going to be. I didn't have a feel for it. I actually had a great group of teens and I said, you know what? We're going to go off road for a little bit. How about we do a little contest? I want you guys to come up with a name for this, a logo for this, and the color. Sketch it out, do it out. And I gave them a week to do it. I did not come up with this. One of the teens came up with Lead Me Teen Leadership Challenge, which now is a domain. We've got that. That's copyrighted, but it was a teen that did
Excellent.
that. They selected my colors and they selected the logo. They actually drew it. One drew it. And then I went and got it all done, sent it out there to get done. So this is just for me, when I look at it, a great example of what teens can do when they're encouraged and they have the opportunity to grow and experiment, and that they understand you trust them to go do this. And I'm trusting them with my brand, with who it is Miss Cynthia is. They did an awesome job.
Absolutely.
So that speaks volumes about teens too. Given the opportunity, they will always show up well.
Absolutely. And what a way to spur on entrepreneurship, right? To
Absolutely.
really
Yes.
fuel that fire and to get that ember like glowing and burning. I mean, that absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love it.
They
And
are.
so we'll dive into our last question.
Sure.
Being a UK certified internationally youth etiquette consultant sounds really intriguing. Could you share with us how etiquette ties into leadership? I know you did a little bit of that earlier, and why it's crucial for the youth of today.
Yeah, that's a good question. As you know, Teresa, when I first opened my business and still is, it was for etiquette. And it's so
Yes.
funny. I never verbally said it, but I really was teaching etiquette with the intent of developing these young people into leaders.
I'm here. Are
And
you?
oh yeah, I'm sorry. My whole screen went blank. I apologize
Ooh,
for that.
that's okay. Gotta love
Okay.
technology when it works.
Yeah. Yeah. So the intent was to use etiquette as a way to build leadership. So let me answer the question by just quickly defining the two and giving examples of why this is crucial. Now, etiquette really is a code of conduct. They are rules that control what I say is accepted behaviors in social groups and in social situations. So that's what etiquette is. Now, leadership or being a leader involves, you're a leader if you're able to lead, influence others, and guide. That's the purpose of leadership.
Sure.
So having those two things together makes what I call an effective leader, a transformative leader, a powerful leader. Leaders touch, move, and inspire others. In order for you to get your message out and get people excited about what it is you want them to do, you're going to have social skills or people skills to connect with them. And that's what's
Right.
important with this. Effective leaders are those that treat people with respect, that consider their feelings and their thoughts when they're making decisions, and who have common courtesy. That's how you get people fired up. That's how you get them to follow you. So that's why those things are important and how they work together. There are a couple of examples that I came up with in my mind when I started thinking about this, and Princess Di is one. You have the royal family who actually role is to serve their nation and serve their people, but juxtaposed to that are the development of special etiquette. So royal etiquette is a whole lot more than what we learn every day. Princess Diana was a princess of service and had impeccable taste, had impeccable manners. That's an example of putting those two together and how you can change the world. I think about Keanu Reeves. I think about Denzel Washington. I think about former President Barack Obama. These are individuals who personified what leadership is. And what they also added to it was the gentlemanliness, the ladylikeness of doing that. They know how to treat people, they know how to interact with others, and their lives showed how service played a big part in that. So, in a nutshell, that's what it is. Those two are important, and they're important for young people to know, because before you could be the people on the silver screen, be in royal families and a whole lot of other things, you've got to start developing those skills now, because none of them learn those overnight. Those are lifelong skills and lifelong coaching that took place, and a commitment to be that. And so that's what I want for our teens. And I know that's what parents want for their teens. And it will also serve them well when they're looking for a job after college. You know, you need to be able to lead and be a good teammate and be able to communicate well and treat customers well and your teammates well. So that's another reason why you really want to learn these skills as well. It's going to help you in your career, whatever that may be.
Absolutely. Well, all I can say is, wow, what an insightful conversation. Thank you,
Thank
Miss
you.
Cynthia, for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. To our viewers, the conversation doesn't end here. We'd love to hear from you, so please keep this dialogue going in the comment section below. And if you'd like to connect with Miss Cynthia directly or explore her programs further, you can find all her contact details in the description of this interview. So until next time, keep learning, keep leading. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.